I have always wanted a job where I was helping women and children. I have known this since probably 5 years old. People would ask what I wanted to do when I grow up, and I would tell them that I wanted to help women and children. So I didn't know exactly what that would be. So I graduated high school when I was 15 and moved from Tennessee to Washington State. Started going to university then, and I worked full time through the day, and I'd go to school at night, and I'd balance all of these things.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Alton. I'm the Objectionable Mom. Thank you for joining me today on Lawyer Moms Talk. And today I am very excited to introduce Kendra Long. Miss Kendra, thank you so much for being with me today. And go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, thanks. I'm really happy to be here with you. My name is Kendra Long. I'm the founding attorney at Northwest Women's Injury Law. We are a law firm dedicated to representing the unique issues of women and children in personal injury matters in Washington State. I am a mother. I have one son. He's 6 years old, just turned 6, married, and have 2 dogs.
So tell me a little bit more about your practice, because I know that your practice is a little bit special compared to a lot of other practices I've heard of.
Yeah, so I practice only in personal injury. So only, I'm sure most people listening would be familiar, but only if someone is injured by someone else. That's the work that I do. So within that, I kind of have a sub interest. So we represent women who have been injured. A lot of our clients are stay-at-home moms. We have quite a few, working moms too, but a big base of them is stay-at-home moms. Probably 80% of my practice identifies as a female, and the other 20% just want female representation for one reason or another.
And are you the only attorney in your law firm?
I am, yes. It's by design. I really like this. I like being the only one. So the best part of being on your own is that you get to control everything, which I really like. It's, an issue, but I really like it. I know everything that's happening because I've done everything. And, I have people that'll help me with more administrative tasks or things like that. But for all the lawyering, it's just me.
At the end of the day, it's just you. You are the one.
I
That's
am the
great.
one. Yeah.
It's a great feeling. I can definitely relate to that. So tell me, why did you become a lawyer?
I have always wanted a job where I was helping women and children. And so I have known this since, I don't know, I was probably 5 years old. People would ask what I wanted to do when I grow up, and I would tell them that I wanted to help women and children. So I didn't know exactly what that would be. So I graduated high school when I was 15 and moved from Tennessee to Washington State. Started going to university then, and I worked full time through the day, and I'd go to school at night, and I'd balance all of these things. And so it was probably the summer between my junior and senior year of university. I was thinking about, what do I want to do after this? Like, I'm going to have a degree in sociology and women's studies. So what am I going to do with this?
Hang on, I have to stop you for a second. You said you graduated high school at 15 and you've never stopped working and going to school. Did you ever go to like a party? Like in college?
No, I did not. So when you're 15, you can't, right? But I just worked all the time. And it's so funny because until I went to law school, I did not have friends that I hung out with because I never had the time to do that. I worked all day long. I went to school at night. I studied after that, and then I went back to work. But this was just the reality of it because my parents weren't paying for school. I had to pay for school and housing and, my car, and I had this life.
You didn't have a group of friends until law school.
I always lived off campus because I worked, and it was way cheaper to live off campus. I had calculated up than to live on campus. And it was such a weird experience. But between my junior and senior year, I was at breakfast one morning and I had been thinking about the different things that I could do for my goal. Like, I want to help women. I want to help children. How can I do that? And it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll be a teacher. I would be a terrible teacher, as quarantine has shown me. I thought I might be a social worker. I just kind of looked at these other things and none of them felt quite right. So at the time, my boyfriend, he said, well, why don't you become a lawyer? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And it was just like that. So I took the LSAT like 2 weeks later. Yeah, it was just a really quick decision, but one that I'm really happy about. Like, it turned out really good for me, and it was a good fit and a good challenge.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
when you think about why you became a mom, was it the same sort of quick decision making, or was that a little bit more calculated, you think?
No, yeah. So I've always known I wanted to be a mom too. But and it's so funny because before my husband and I got married, I thought, oh, maybe I'll be like a single mom by choice. Like I was investigating all of these avenues of like things that I could do to become a mom. And I was still young, like I was 25 years old, but I had already been out of law school for a few years. Like I
Right.
grad, like I had gone to school so early. So I was kind of like I was ahead in that area. Instead of
Yeah.
taking time just for me, which I would encourage all to do, I thought, I want to So when I actually met my husband, I was reading all these books. Like I had them all from the library, these like single mom by choice books, and I'm sure
Oh
it
my
totally freaked out my husband. Like you start dating somebody and they're like planning, like how you're gonna have a baby. Yeah, it was pretty funny. So I always kind of known that, and then we had our son, and I always tell people that the day my son was born was truly the best day of my life.
God.
And if I could relive that day, like that movie Groundhog Day, where he just relives the day over and over and over, that's the day I would choose because it is truly the best day of my life. Like it was
Even
the
like
most,
the birth, like even
yes, like
and
he was born so fast. Like it was a miserable pregnancy. I was so sick, but he was born in like 3 hours. It was so quick. It was so easy, but it was like the best day of my life. Just like holding him for the first time and being like, oh my God, this is who he is. This is what he looks like. He has like real fingers and toes and he's not just like a blob on a screen, like he's so real.
meeting
It's
him.
the
Yeah.
best day of my life and it's the one I want to live over and over. And I tell him that all the time too. And he's like, you can't make me a baby.
Oh, that's beautiful. My son he turns 6 next week. So I
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already getting some of the, attitude of the
Yeah.
6-year-old boys that know everything and they don't want to be babies anymore and they want to do their own thing. And I'm like, oh,
I threaten a shrink ray. That's my go-to. I'm like, I will order shrink ray from Amazon. I swear to God, I will do it. But I too see that like, I don't know, that like new little boy attitude where it's like,
wow,
there's just like huffing and puffing, like
so
just the like,
cool. They're too
ugh,
cool for
like,
us. I
just
know.
like
I'm
this.
like, all right.
Yeah. I just say, all right, let me know when you're done.
Right. Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
happy to help. Like when you're ready for help, let me know and I'll come back. Like, but right now I can see you're not interested. So,
Right, right.
um,
So on that note, obviously as a mom, what do you like most about being a mom? What do you enjoy most about being a mom?
I really love spending time with my son. So his desk is like right here. Like I've just kicked him out. Um, but
Poor thing.
he's always worked with us. Like he's always worked with us. So he has never gone to daycare or anything like that. Like he went to preschool for 3 hours, a couple days a week, before he started school this year, like he's always been home with us and he'll like work in here and he'll do his Legos and he'll do his stuff. And, like
Like your mini assistant.
he's like he is a great at opening mail, so good at
Oh
filing.
my goodness, he really is your assistant.
He, he wanted to have an office themed birthday party, like with staplers and paper clips and stuff. Like,
God,
but
please,
I think we should choose a
please
theme
tell
that
me you
like,
did do that for him. Please tell me you got him like Legos or something. Did you
yeah.
really do an office themed birthday party for him?
Well, I was like, I think we should find something more accessible that other people might like. Like,
Like dinosaurs?
that are friends, yeah. But he really loves that. Like he loves hanging out, and he like knows all about my cases, and because he hears me talk about them on the phone and stuff, he'll have like little manila folders for them. It's very cute.
Oh my
Like
goodness, that is the
uh,
sweetest thing.
he really likes it. So this year he started school. He's in school full time, right? From 8:30 to 3:30. And I just miss him. Like I just miss hanging out with him. I miss having our lunch together every day. So now that he's home, I love that I get to see him more. I hate that I have to teach him to read a clock. Like, it's terrible. It's teaching would have not been my strong skill, but like I really miss him during the day when he's gone, and now it's like he's home all the time, and so I feel like I get to play with him and I get to hear so much more about his life,
But you
how
bring
he
up a really interesting point. You talk about how your son likes to work with you, and obviously you spend great quality time with him, which is so important,
Yeah.
so good for him and building that relationship with you and him. But how does he describe what you do for a living?
Oh, yeah. So he tells people that I help people and that I'm a lawyer, um, and that sometimes I go to court. He likes to say that sometimes she goes to court.
Mhm.
Um, she helps people. It's like an early one. Now he like just describes me by a job function, and so I ask him like, well, what kinds of things do I do? And he's like, like paperwork and phone calls, and like you help people, like you read a lot, and I feel like that's a very simplified description of all I do. Day,
There's a
but
lot more going on here, but
yeah,
that's fine. That'll do for
exactly.
now.
It's fine. And you've worked with me for many years now. Like you've been, like he knows. Like he just won't tell me. He could probably tell somebody everything I do. He could probably come and do it. He just doesn't want to tell me.
Oh, come and do it. So tell me, I mean, speaking of that, what do you think about him becoming a lawyer?
I think law is a good profession. Like I think it's a nice profession with a good living. I think that there's a lot of balance in it. So because I work in personal injury, I work on a contingency fee, which makes life a lot easier for me. I'm not working on billable hours. I'm not having to do all this time and getting money from people and collecting all that money. It's not how it happens. Contingency fee also really encourages efficiency. Like you want to put in the least amount of work for the maximum reward for that client. So it really encourages efficiency, which I like too. But so it gives a good balance. But like whatever he wants to do is cool. Like if you want to be a lawyer, awesome. Like if you want to be doctor president, also awesome. Like you can like I don't care what he wants to do. Like as long as he's like doing something and he really likes it. And like right now he tells me he's never gonna have a job because he's just gonna live with me forever. Um
You might have to circle back on that in a few years.
exactly. Yeah, it's actually he wants like a shed to live in so that he can have cats because I tell him no cats because I'm like allergic to cats. And so he can like live in the shed with a bunch of cats and no job. So
Got
I
this.
don't know how it's going to work out long term, but we're hoping he grows out of it.